Good afternoon. My name is Andy Hallman. Mount Pleasant hosted its first home co-ed track meet of the year, but first, today's top stories. Washington City Administrator Deanna McCusker plans to resign from her position. According to municipal officials, McCusker submitted a 60-day notice on March 25th. In an email, McCusker said she was departing on good terms and for personal reasons. McCusker explained that she wanted to live closer to her 7 grandchildren because she didn't want to miss out on seeing them grow up and wanted to attend their activities. McCusker started as Washington City Administrator in January of 2022, following several rounds of interviews and about 6 months of a vacancy in the office. The city administrator manages most of the city's day-to-day operations as the lead overseer of staff and top policy advisor to council members. The resignation of former city administrator Brent Hinson saw his duties delegated to other municipal leaders in his absence. Still, with a mayoral special election later this month and a relatively new city clerk, Mayor Pro Tem Millie Youngquist said the city tentatively plans to hire an interim administrator. Doing so ahead of McCusker's departure would help staff gear up for a longer search to find her permanent replacement. The Washington City Council voted 5-1 last week to enact a new rule barring people from speaking during the group's public comment period unless they live or own property within city limits. Fran Steigers, who supported the motion, remarked, "We are a city council, not a county council. If you live out in the county, go see the supervisors." While city officials did not invoke his name, the move was heavily implied as a countermeasure against Mike Murphy, a farmer who lives 10 miles south of Washington, but who farms on a lot bordering city limits owned by his parents. Murphy has become known to councilors through his opposition to construction along Buchanan Street, which borders the family's farm, where he claims contractors have violated property lines, broken fences, and altered water drainage. Fran Steigers remarked, "I'm going to be completely honest. He's made me very uncomfortable, and we all know who we're talking about. This guy is off," end quote. Murphy, for his part, said he was outraged by the change. He pointed to other parts of the municipal government that explicitly seek to ensure representation for unincorporated community members near the city, like rural representatives on the Municipal Planning and Zoning Commission and Library Board of Trustees, as proof that the new rule is unreasonable. Construction has begun on a new housing development on the north edge of Fairfield. The development is known as North Campus Ridge, just a stone's throw from the similarly named North Campus Village. North Campus Ridge is being built on land just east of Reef Grain along Highway 1 north of Fairfield. Once finished, the housing development will include 37 units in 11 buildings, 9 triplexes and 2 fiveplexes. The development is a joint venture between Vastu Partners LLC and the construction firm DRB Contracting. Martin Brett, owner of Vastu Partners, said this development required purchasing the land from the prior owner, Dave Reef, and securing a brownfields development grant from the Environmental Protection Agency. The grant, which was nearly $1 million, will go toward the demolition of all the buildings that now comprise Reef Grain, such as removing its grain silos, tanks, and all machinery. Brett announced last year his intention to build a new housing development on that land if he could get a grant to defray the cost of demolition, and later that year he learned that his application for a brownfields grant was successful. The property officially changed hands in December of 2023, though Brett said that Dave Reef can remain at the property through July 1st. Vastu Partners purchased 16.8 acres from Reef Grain. In early March, Doug Bacher, in his film DRB Contracting, began construction on the first of the 11 buildings planned for the site, and its frame and roof are already up. Brett wants residents to know that the entrance to new North Campus Ridge will be from Highway 1 only. And even though the development directly abuts North Campus Village, He is not going to connect the two housing developments with a road. The Henry County Board of Supervisors held a second courtesy reading of a resolution to establish a temporary moratorium on zoning land for wind energy during its meeting Thursday, March 28th. If the supervisors approve the resolution at the final reading today, Tuesday, April 2nd, it will halt all commercial wind energy rezoning until next March. According to Supervisor Mark Lindeen, if the resolution passes, the next step will begin with the county's Planning and Zoning Commission starting their due diligence. Lindeen stated this work will include information gathering and continuing their work on the comprehensive plan, which the supervisors asked them to review last summer. Most citizens present at the March 28th supervisor meeting agreed with the direction the resolution sent about alternative energy. IowaWINS, or Iowa Welcomes Immigrant Neighbors, said it is pleased to announce the opening of the Welcome Home Center in Mount Pleasant. The Welcome Home Center is available to all local residents seeking connection to community services. The center offers bilingual services for both English and Spanish speakers. IowaWINS conducted an outreach program in 2023 to learn about the needs of the immigrant community in Mount Pleasant. The greatest need was the creation of a trusted bilingual organization to provide advice, information, and support for the community. IowaWINS hired Oscar Argueta as the project director. Argueta comes from Guatemala and has a long history in Mount Pleasant, where he published a Spanish language newspaper for many years. He has been meeting with local leaders, human service organizations, as well as individuals and families in preparation for the opening of this center. The Welcome Home Center is located at 217 West Washington in Mount Pleasant. The grand opening is planned for Thursday, April 4th from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those are today's top stories. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll learn the results of Mount Pleasant's first home co-ed track meet.
Federation Bank is a locally owned bank providing award-winning customer service. We believe that we are more than just a federation of banks, but a federation of communities, serving Brighton, Richland, Wellman, and Washington, Iowa. Federation Bank's highly skilled staff is here to make sure you are able to accomplish your personal and professional goals, whatever they may be. Federation Bank, your family bank.
Welcome back to Newsbreak. This is your sports editor, Andy Krutzinger, for the Sports Report for April 2nd, 2024, a Tuesday. And we had a little bit, a lot of high school sports action on Thursday. Finally, a full day of high school sports action all around the area. Mount Pleasant hosted their home co-ed meet. And along with the hosting Panthers, Fairfield, Washington, and Mid-Prairie there for girls and boys track. Some winners for you. We're going to start with Mid-Prairie girls because they had a lot of them. They sweep the distance events. Danielle Hostetler wins the 1,500. Brooklyn Stutzman wins the 3,000. Mid-Prairie wins the girls sprint medley team. Mid-Prairie wins the distance medley. Emma Lueck wins the long jump for Mid-Prairie. That's on the girls' side. Also on the girls' side for Washington, the shuttle hurdle team of Ryan Pepper, Nellie Pons Cruz, Kendall Hendrickson, and Leighton Messenger gets first place. And the 100 hurdles, Leighton Messenger gets first place. In the high jump, Leighton Messenger gets first place. A triple win there for her. Iris Dahl wins the 800. Ryan Pepper wins the 400-meter hurdles. The 4x4 team of Abby Cleese, Taylor Bartholomew, Taylor Mix, and Iris Dahl get first place. And then there were some wins for Mount Pleasant on the girls' side. Savannah Soblodnik wins the discus run, and the 4x2 team of Kai Sanders, Alex Scott, Kinley White, and Andy Scott wins as well. On the boys' side, Washington Demon runner Micah Reese breaks the school's 3,000-meter run record, 9 minutes, 16.15 seconds. That record had been standing all the way since 1974, a 50-year record. He's also on to the Drake Relays. That's the Blue Standard. At the time, he was number one in the 3,000 in the state. Might be some times coming in that are going to challenge that Josh Anderson wins the wheelchair shot put, and the distance medley team of Cale Williams, Connor Layden, Seth Shepard, and Tyler Alderton win as well. Mid-Prairie boys, Jaden Stafford, a triple winner in the wheelchair races, 100 meter, 400 meter, and 200. By the way, Anderson of Washington was second in all of those. Emmett Swartzentruber wins the 1600. Fairfield Trojan boys get first and second on the high jump. Eli Zillman first, clears 6.5. That'll get you some glory here later in the year. And Ryan Giberson clears 6.1 for second. And Mount Pleasant's Avon Trong in the long jump jumps 21 feet, 9 inches for the Lone Panther winner there. We had some soccer. We had some tennis going on. In the tennis realm, a double win for both Mount Pleasant and Fairfield. Mount Pleasant welcomed in Davis County. In girls tennis, won 7-2, won all but one singles, all but one doubles. And then they swept Davis County on the road in boys tennis. Also getting a road sweep in boys tennis were the Fairfield boys, who headed to Fort Madison and got a 9-0 win. And the Fairfield girls take out Fort Madison at home. Soccer-wise, we had Washington over Highland 5-0 in boys soccer. Emmanuel Raimundo of Washington has tied the school record for goals in a career with 33. Zach Stout had the record. It is now tied, and he needs one more to beat that. Washington girls take a couple losses. First one was 1-0 to Oskaloosa. The first one was 1-0 to Williamsburg on Thursday, and then Monday night, a 1-0 loss to Oskaloosa. They got some shots in both of those, but just couldn't get one in. Mount Pleasant soccer falls to Clear Creek Amana, 4-0 in boys at home and 8-0 in girls on the road. Golf teams were supposed to be golfing it up at Fairfield and Washington today. There's supposed to be a boys meet in Fairfield, girls meet in Washington. The rain has canceled both, and the rain has pretty much canceled everything in high school spring sports today, Tuesday. We'll see if we can get something in later on. In our Southeast Iowa Union Tournament Bracket Challenges, we have a projected winner, 100% to win the men's bracket. Principal of Mount Pleasant, Mike Wilson, congratulations. You are the 2024 champion. It looks like Sarah Krutzinger is going to get second in that one. That's my wife. And in the women's bracket right now, first and second, Mike Wilson and Sarah Krutzinger, first and second in both. That one is not all wrapped up, though. Mike Wilson has the Iowa women, and Colin Stark, who is sitting in third place, still has a chance to win that one if he can get a win from South Carolina. So they're about 100 points apart. Stark needs South Carolina to either beat Iowa in the championship or at least get to the championship and have Iowa lose in the next round. The Final Four starts on Friday for the Iowa women. They knocked off hated foe LSU last night in the Elite Eight. So the women's Final Four is UConn versus Iowa and NC State versus South Carolina, with the winners playing a couple days later. And men's Final Four begins on Saturday. That would be Purdue versus NC State and Alabama versus UConn. That's all we have for sports. Hopefully we'll get some more high school sports to you on Thursday's news break. Hopefully the weather allows it. But when we come back with this one, Alex will be giving you your obituaries.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast
Hello
Iowa.
and welcome back to Newsbreak. It is now time for your obituaries. Deborah Lynn Hadley of Dighton, Kansas passed away on February 16th at the age of 66. A memorial service will be held April 6th at 10:30 a.m. at the Trinity Friends Church. Richard Dick Kessler of Richland passed away on March 27th at the age of 72. Funeral services were held April 1st. Betty Jean Goff of Brighton passed away on March 28th at the age of 96. Denise Ann Peace of Fairfield passed away on March 28th at the age of 65. Funeral services will be held at 1:30 p.m. April 4th at the Benner Funeral Home in Fairfield. Marla Jean Meyer of Riverside passed away on March 28th at the age of 81. A celebration of life will be held from 5 until 7 p.m. on April 2nd at the Jones and Eden Funeral Home in Washington. Trevor Maurice Coughlin of Mount Pleasant passed away on March 26th at the age of 32. A graveside funeral service was held at 11 a.m. on April 2nd at the Forest Home Cemetery. That is your news for Southeast Iowa. I've been your Alex Snyder. This has been your news break, and I will see you next time.